Mavis.
Here, everyone. It's a beautiful day, and it's of course the midday show with Ify, and the dish is not over yet. I have in the studio with me Faith History, Mercy Ajishafe, and Buki Karibi White, and right now we have Toke Makinwa in the studio.
Yay!
Hello, ladies.
Hey. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so we're very excited because we've been talking about you for the past month.
Okay.
Because remember you started the campaign, right?
Yes.
So Unbecoming was a campaign. We didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
and
no
we're
one
just like,
knew what it was.
what is this campaign? Did not just say what it is. Is she writing a book? Is she doing a vlog? Like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
So, and then we found out it was a book.
Yeah.
And
Some people guessed, though, but then, we weren't quite, because it was like, oh, is it a movie? Is it this?
I think a lot of people thought it was a movie.
Yes, people thought it was a movie because we had the visual come out as well.
Right.
And the visual came out a week before the book was announced, and that was shot by Kim Editiba, and a lot of work went into all of that. I mean, we've been doing this for a year and a half.
Oh, did Kemi shoot that?
Yeah,
Yes,
Kemi
she did. She shot the visual.
Okay, nice.
I remember when we first had the meeting, and I was working with her in BPR for 1 year and a half now, and they thought, okay, let's do Kemi, because they had been to Canada together for the wedding party. So it was very easy for us to meet up. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. And she said, I'm going to pray about it, and I'll come to you. And when she came, she had this crazy idea where I had to take off my wig, and I thought, why? Kemi, why? But I didn't fight it, but I did, and it was exciting.
All right. I never saw the visuals myself. If he did. And
yeah, I did.
She loved it. She was
yes,
like,
I did. I
so
thought it was
pretty.
beautiful.
Thank
I didn't
you.
see
Yes,
it.
thank
I
you.
didn't see it. I saw the clip.
It's on YouTube, actually. It's on my YouTube channel, Toke Makinwa on YouTube, and it's right there. It's called The Journey to Become the Visuals.
Miss Makinwa in the building. First of all, I have to say you look splendid today.
Thank
you look
you,
really,
Mercy.
really, really
Thank you
good.
so
Yeah,
much.
this is gorgeous.
And I'm really excited to have you here actually, and not for the reason that people think, because everyone knows I like to fire questions. Not that recently, in the last few years, I even told her, I said when I saw her at the airport, I've become one of your biggest supporters.
Thank you.
I think you've done extremely well.
Thank you so much.
I think a lot of people are very intrigued at what you've done, and honestly, Toke, I'm very, very proud. Like,
Thank
honestly,
you.
even despite what I might say, I am very, very.
Bring it on.
But I'm very proud. So
Yeah.
we're excited to hear about the journey to becoming. So we've got the book, we read it. Before we actually go into it, I think it might be a good idea. Why don't you, in your words, tell the listeners what On Becoming is about?
I mean, it's a journey. On Becoming, it's a journey. Everyone you meet is traveling. As long as you're alive, there's something you are trying to become. And even when you think you have become, there's so much more room to become more. So, it's a journey from, it's a young girl's journey through life, basically. And, you have your rise, your fall, your victories, your defeat. And, it's something I thought that I needed to share with the world, because I feel like in Africa, we're shamed to silence as women. We go through so much, but then you're supposed to hold everything in and just act like you don't crack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then who says that strength is in silence? Strength sometimes is in being vulnerable as well. So that is what Unbecoming is about.
It's about sharing all the things
Just
that
basically,
you've been through.
Well, you can put it that way. It's my journey. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I have this huge platform. I have a huge following, and I also feel like I've been blessed to have what I have, and it would be a disservice not to impact and share with people, my journey.
Right.
And a lot of people
including the flaws, right? Because some
of
people
course.
see you and they just see
yes, which was
the
very
pretty
important.
outside.
It's been very interesting to see the commentary and to see all the things people have been saying since the book had dropped. You know what I mean? But it's me there, which is why the taking of the week came. Just me.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Because
you
I
can.
think that out of the conversations that I've been having with a lot of people, there's something in particular that they've been saying. Like you said, that this is your journey, what you've gone through and all of that. And what I hear people ask is, Toke, you have, you're also a YouTuber, right?
Yes.
Because you do a lot of videos, talking about relationships,
Yes.
and all that. You know what women are going through.
Yes.
So what people are asking, they're like, but Toke, what you've gone through, to other women, they've gone through this already.
Yes.
So other women have gone through worse, not to make light of what you've gone through. Okay, so they're asking, so why did you feel that you needed to still highlight these things when you know it's something that a whole lot of women have gone through already?
Yeah, but you see, that's the problem. A lot of women have gone through it, but so many more women go through it and feel like they are shamed to silence. I'm suffering, but I have to put up this wall or put up this face out there that people have to see and see me smile and act like my life is perfect. Do you know what I mean? Or like my life. Everyone has problems. No one has it perfect. And people see celebrities and see famous people and think, oh, these people have this, you know, amazing life. Things are given to you. You don't have to work for anything, or like your life is perfect on your end. So this is a book that strips it down and lets you know that no, that's not what it is. Yeah, people going through something private, going through something public, it's the same. I would say to someone, just because yours was private doesn't make yours any less painful.
You know what? Speaking.
No, let me go.
Go on, Bookie.
I commend you for
Thank you.
writing. I do have some reservation.
Did you actually write the book? Which
Yes,
is one.
I did.
No, she don't need to tell you she wrote
No,
the book.
I'm asking. She don't need to tell you. But
Now,
I'm asking.
the title Unbecoming.
Yes.
I've read the book, and I feel like there's a lot more when it comes to you becoming.
That's what I was going to say.
That does not have to do with a man.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I feel that a lot more could have been highlighted. I think that you've had an amazing journey.
Thank you.
From from the onset, from your folks
Yeah.
to
3 Life
who you are today
Yes.
outside of a relationship.
Yes.
And I think that's my only reservation,
Yeah.
is that I think that having a lot of attention on, because from reading your book I feel like, okay, so but I want Toke without the guy. There's a lot to Toke without the guy.
Yes.
And that,
But I just don't think that it was brought out in the book. It made it seem like your whole life was the guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But then there was a lot of
I do have to
positives.
answer that though, because
Please do.
do you know what? This is the first book I'm writing, and because of what happened to me last year, I knew that even when I wrote about the loss of my parents, what people are concerned about is what happened in my marriage. So there's going to be many more books, and that's why the title. That's why the title is open. If you look at it on the cover, it's Unbecoming, and it's an open title because we are all becoming. So there's going to be an Unbecoming a successful media personality, on becoming a wife, hopefully someday, on becoming a mother. So it's this is the first step. It's I've heard people
I think that's
say
I think that's very important to highlight.
It is the first step, and that's why the title is opened.
Right. Okay.
And do you feel like it was, you felt pressured into writing this book?
No, not
Because
at all.
people were like, okay, hey, you're doing relationship advice, but your relationship isn't perfect.
Yeah, but then I always say to people, just because you're not married doesn't mean you cannot give good marriage advice.
Very
just
true.
because you don't have a job doesn't mean you cannot give a good, work ethic advice. People need to stop, which is why this book was written. Let's stop judging ourselves by status. She's single. She's married. It
So she
doesn't
shouldn't be
matter.
talking.
The society has put and we are the society. We as women, we do the most sometimes. The guys don't do that. A guy would do some certain things that might not be, a good thing per se. But guys will give him chop knuckle. But a woman,
guys have a guy code.
Yeah,
they
but-
have a
but
guy
they do have a guy code and they're very
cover
loyal
for
to
each
each
other.
other.
No matter what.
but then a woman goes through certain things. Her marriage packs up, for instance. No one knows you weren't there with her in marriage, but she's blamed. Her husband is adding weight. She's blamed that she's feeding him too much. He's losing weight. She's not giving him enough food. The kids are not doing well. It's his fault. The pressure is too much.
It is a lot of pressure.
It's
With that
too
being said,
much.
I'm going back on the book now. So, okay, let's imagine that I am a woman in a very bad relationship and I want to learn from you. If I read your book, what exactly am I learning? What was the message that you were trying to send forth to people?
That's a very good question, actually, because
Should I
right
go
after-
write a book if my husband cheats on me?
No,
today?
right after, the book came out, I've gotten countless emails, and one thing just keeps, going through the thread in all the emails that I'm getting, and it's, we're one in this together. People don't have that outlet to talk about these things. People feel like, I'm allowed to just accept these certain things because that's how men are. One, two, who would I report? I mean, who's going to, as you said, you're going through this, I'm going through worse. Do you know what I mean? So this is an avenue for women to accept the new normal. This is not going to change anytime soon. Listen, this is not going to change anytime soon. As long as we women keep, sort of bottling things up and acting. I mean, I worked in a bank. I think I was in banking before I started my media career. And there was a lady who passed on. She committed suicide. And it was after that we found out that she was going through a divorce. She was being abused in her marriage. But this is the lady who knew everyone's name and everyone's child's name and who would smile the most. And so that whole makeup to cover up what
You don't know what people are going
it's high
through
time
behind
people.
the scenes.
It's okay for you to see me crumble.
Right.
Doesn't mean I wouldn't stand tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
So if you're reading
Or
this
write
book
a
and you're
book.
crumbling, you know,
Can
it's
she
okay
answer
for
my
you
question? Because, Faith, I'm sorry.
The message, she said, what message
if
are you
you're
trying
reading
to
this
send?
book and you're crumbling, say for instance you're going through something, it's okay for you to, you know, go through it with your head high and have hopes that if she could beat this, I can too.
Okay. If you could advise yourself,
Your younger self.
your younger self right now, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, a long time ago, you know, the funny thing is, I was so quick to want to think I'll tell myself, get out, don't do this, don't do that. But I live my life without no regrets. And
Okay.
I feel like everything that's happened to me for a reason, and has added to who I am today.
Yeah.
Now, this is not to say that a young girl is listening to me right now. If you're dating someone for 8 years and it's not going anywhere, stay there. Of course, I wouldn't say that. You know, which is obviously why I also did not play the victim. He didn't force me to stay in that relationship. Do you know what I mean? But you know, when you love someone, you keep hoping and hoping for the best and thinking things would change.
Yeah.
And we're not exactly wearing the clock on our hands and saying, oh, it's now 5 minutes past 10. What are we doing? Or what are you doing? You know, it's a journey. And I feel like if a lot more women were honest with themselves and were quick to accept, because there's one thing for you to tell yourself this is not working. There's another thing for you to accept that it's not working. Because even when you tell yourself so many times, you know, let's not even keep it straight. It's not even about relationships, right? I mean, Mercy, it could be a job. You're working a job that you know you deserve better.
Girl,
should
you
be
know
paid-
I've been there.
You know you should be paid better, but you wake up in the morning and you still go, even when you know. So accepting and making a change is a different thing entirely. So my advice would be, you know, there comes a point in everyone's life where you have to look inwards. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to accept what it is you find. People will tell you things like, I'm praying, God, if it's not mine, take him away. That's a lazy man's prayer. God is not going to come. God is not going to come from heaven and tell you this, but you know, because he's giving you. It's like the man who was drowning and asking for help, and all sorts of people passing a boat. And
Now, Toke, would you say that you have low self-esteem or that you had low self-esteem? Because when it comes to the, you know, the situation or the part of the book where you write about, you know, changing of skin color and all of that, would you credit that to an esteem issue?
come on, Bobby, we've all done crazy things to keep men.
Right.
People have lost weight.
Well, that's what I'm
because
saying.
they want
What
to
I would say,
date
like,
a
if-
guy.
Right, ladies, thank you so
So
very
we have
much.
to change.
Toke Makinwa, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
to
guys
the
for
studio
having me.
today.
I
So
hope
you've
we weren't
heard.
too hard on you, honey.
No, the
not
thing
at
is,
all. I
it
think we
is,
were
I mean,
nice.
with every interview, it's kind of different. I mean, I just wish, I mean, but at the end of the day, people are entitled to their own opinions.
Most
The book is
definitely.
not about my marriage. The
Okay,
book, you know,
and
is a
like she
journey, so-
said,
but
this
if
is
that's
just,
what-
it's a journey and then there's still
Congratulations.
more to
Thank
come,
you.
right?
Yes, very
Exactly, so we should be expecting so many more.
We
from-
pray you sell many copies, and honestly, you're inspiring a lot of young women. Keep going, Toke,
Thank
because
you
we're all
so
behind
much,
you.
Mercy.
Do your thing,
Thank
girl.
All right, thank you so much once again. Okay, it is 2 minutes past the hour of 2. It's still the dish here on Lagos Talks 91.3. That was Toke Makinwa, and you know we spoke about her book on becoming. Right now we're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be going into different segments here on
I'm
the
not going
dish.
to any segment with you.
You are going.
In fact, I'm out. Toke is
Okay,
me too, I'm going.
Buki and Mercy have quit, but we